Good afternoon, everyone. Can I invite you to take your seats if there are ones available? And what a great crowd. And for the folks up in the back there's a few seats around, so if you're not overly shy, you can try and drift into them. But good afternoon, everyone. What a remarkable day we have today to celebrate just some amazing accomplishments by our colleagues here at RPI. It's a pleasure, as RPI's 19th president, to welcome you to the Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute for today's celebration. It's an occasion that brings together some of the finest minds in engineering education and leadership. We are honored to host the National Academy of Engineering here on our campus, and I extend a warm welcome to NAE President Dr. John Anderson, members of the Academy, esteemed colleagues, and guests. We really genuinely thank you for being here. When RPI was founded more than 2 centuries ago, our mission of applying science to the common purposes of life was not just innovative, it was radical in the day in 1824. It helped to transform the landscape of the nation and the world, both literally and figuratively. And it continues to do so today. This is at the root of our strong relationship with the Academy. Last year alone, 9 members of our community, representing alumni, faculty, and board members, were elected to the Academy, highlighting the interrelationship of research, industry, and policy that also guides our new strategic plan, RPI Forward. The recognition of Professors George Belfort and Stephen Cramer with the Academy's highest award, the 2025 Bernard M. Gordon Prize, is a continued affirmation of this mission. I'm quite familiar with Bernie Gordon's commitment to engineering education from my time at MIT, and I can tell you that this is a very significant award. And I think our awardees are doing Bernie proud. We're deeply proud of their achievements and the impact they've had on students and the future of biotechnology. You'll hear more shortly about their contributions and the significance of this award, but let me simply say they exemplify the spirit of innovation and educational excellence that defines RPI, in my humble opinion. We're grateful to the Gordon Prize and the National Academy of Engineering for supporting this work. This recognition helps ensure that innovation in engineering education continues to thrive, not only here, but across the field. It also feels fitting to gather here in the Eiserman Auditorium, a space named for Howard Eiserman, the inventor of modern sunscreen. It's one example of how RPI's work has shaped the world. Today, we celebrate an equally profound impact, one made at the intersection of engineering and the life sciences. That intersection is vital to solving the challenges of our time and especially important to us here at RPI. Through their research and educational leadership, George and Steve have not only advanced the field of downstream bioprocessing, they've helped define it. Their mentorship has guided more than 200 PhD students, postdocs, and scientists, many of whom are now leaders in their own right in industry and academia. They've built a legacy that reaches far beyond this campus and will continue to shape the field for years to come. Their work lays a strong foundation for biotechnology at RPI as we enter our 3rd century. And because of their efforts, the future is indeed quite bright. George, Stephen, congratulations. We're grateful for all you've given to your students, your colleagues, and your field. Now, it is my pleasure to introduce Dr. John Anderson, the president of the National Academy of Engineering. Dr. Anderson has served as NAE president since 2019. He earned his undergraduate degree from the University of Delaware and his PhD from the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign. You almost always know if you got your bachelor's degree in engineering at Delaware that you were a chemie. So He previously served as president of Illinois Institute of Technology, provost at Case Western Reserve, and dean of engineering at Carnegie Mellon University. He was elected to the NAE in 1992 for his contributions to colloid hydrodynamics and membrane transport. I'm not a chemie. And has held numerous leadership roles across the Academy and the national academies. He is also a fellow of the American Academy of Arts and Sciences and the American Association for the Advancement of Science, and holds honorary degrees from several universities, including Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Anderson.
Thank you, President Schmidt. Well done on the technical end for an electrical engineer. I'm not a chemical engineer. I'd have a lot more trouble with your jargon, I'm sure. I'm very pleased to be here and welcome the award winners, family, friends, colleagues, and guests to this Gordon Prize ceremony, some of whom have traveled long distances to be present in this very, very special occasion. I sincerely thank RPI President Schmidt and Provost Rebecca Durge, who I think is here, right? And former Carnegie Mellon person as well, right? And Dean Shekhar Garde for their hosting this event and for their support. I want to recognize the 2025 committee. A lot of work goes into choosing the Gordon Prize winner. There are a lot of great candidates, a bulk of work, and it's a very active committee. And this year it's represented by the vice chair for the past year, Lance Collins, NEE member. Lance, please stand. And Lance will be the chair for the next year's winner. And when he asked me if he should do it, I said, yeah, it's a piece of cake. And then I lied. He was Dean of Engineering at Cornell University, and now he's Vice President and Executive Director of the Innovation Campus at Virginia Tech, and also NAE Executive Officer Al Romick. Al, please stand over. Unfortunately, Bernie Gordon could not be with us this afternoon. We are pleased to have his colleague here, Mr. Alex Van Adzen, from the Gordon Foundation. Alex, thank you for being here. It is my privilege to present the NAE's most prestigious award, indeed one of the world's most prestigious awards, in engineering education, the Bernard M. Gordon Prize for Innovation in Engineering and Technology Education. Now let us take a moment to learn a little bit about the remarkable engineer behind this prize.
The Bernard M. Gordon Prize for Innovation in Engineering and Technology Education was inaugurated in 2002 by the National Academy of Engineering. The intent of the Gordon Prize is to recognize new modalities and experiments in education that develop effective engineering leaders. Now, for over 10 years, the Gordon Prize has recognized individuals that have innovated in areas such as curricular design, teaching methods, and technology-enabled learning that strengthen students' capabilities and desire to grow into leadership roles.
The award was created to recognize professors, teachers in technical institutions who understood that there was much more to engineering than learning theory, and that there was a need to inculcate, not in everyone, because that's not possible, an attitude. There's an old phrase that it takes knowledge, skills, and attitude to be a successful engineer, let alone an engineering leader.
This knowledge, skills, and attitude propelled Bernard M. Gordon to found or contribute to multiple companies and institutions throughout his long career, earning over 200 patents, being awarded the National Medal of Technology, being inducted to the National Academy of Engineering, among numerous other honors and awards, in general, embodying the very spirit of his namesake award.
So this attitude is one, you don't get born with it. It's one that gets developed by your teachers, the successes of your jobs, your understanding that after a while you're expected to do that. And it's a hard thing to put into words.
Fostering these leadership skills in engineering is vital to making the profession personally rewarding, successful in the competitive marketplace, and enriching to society at large. The Gordon Prize recognizes educational efforts that cultivate this leadership.
Both the National Academy of Engineering and I together recognized that the educational process in technology had changed so much over the past decades that there was now a dearth of engineering leaders. It does not take a large percentage of engineers to be leaders. It's about the same ratio as a platoon leader to a combat platoon. 1 in 20. If you can get 1 in 20 engineers to have the capability, the desire, the will to be the leader, you increase the productivity tremendously. It's not about academic achievement. It's about industrial, real world, turning out products that society needs that will enhance the economy of the United States.
These leadership qualities are critical to America's competitiveness in the 21st century. The teachers and educational approaches that are recognized by the Gordon Prize are an immense service to the engineering community, to the engineer as an individual, and make the world a better place for all.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the podium Mr. Van Adsen, who will say a few words about the prize. He is with the Gordon Foundation. Alex?
Good afternoon. My name is Alex Van Adsen, and it is my pleasure to be here today representing the Gordon Foundation in Boston. I've been associated with the benefactor of this prize, Bernard Gordon, for many years, starting at Analogic Corporation and continuing through the present at the Foundation. The Gordon Prize embodies Bernard Gordon's views about engineering. I won't try to add to that because this audience is well aware of the prize criteria. I will only say that the Foundation's views place great value on that field because without it, so many of the world's technology-based products would simply not exist. Basic science is irreplaceable, but the view that science alone will solve the world's problems is an incomplete one because it omits the crucial role that engineering plays in the process of improving the conditions of life on this planet. The two of them together strikingly illustrate one of the world's most profound interdependencies, the link between science and engineering. They are like two bicycle pedals, which only when combined generate powerful forward progress. A scientific discovery is made, which, if left only as a discovery, might languish without having any impact. And arguably, engineering cannot kick into gear without being spawned by some scientific discovery that makes engineering possible, which in turn generates a useful product. The scientific discovery of combustion led to a global business in automobiles that has powered the world's economy for over a century now, and continues to do so today, with millions of jobs and trillions of dollars in annual revenue. The discovery of lift did the same thing for the aerospace industry. If I asked for a show of hands by any of you who have never owned or been transported in a car or plane, very few hands would go up, probably none. So either science or engineering alone is as useless as a bow without an arrow. Given the inestimable importance of engineering in all of this, it is manifest that innovation in engineering and technology is pivotal in the overall scheme of things, hence the prize. We at the Gordon Foundation are fully committed to the objectives of the prize and take great pleasure in being here today. And Bernard Gordon has asked me to give his congratulations and best wishes to our very accomplished 2025 prize winners. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. And I need you. You're supposed to stay on the stage. We didn't practice this. And President Schmidt, I think you're supposed to be on the stage.
As much as the audio system.
Yeah. And I'm asking these gentlemen to help with the presentation. But before we present the prize, a little information about it. The recipients of the Gordon Prize receive a $500,000 cash award. Not entirely. The university gets half. And the winners get half. And I assume they're going to split it 50-50, but that's the negotiation they can do. The recipients also receive a commemorative medallion and certificate, which we have up here. In addition, the recipients are invited to present a public lecture on their prize-winning work during the NAE's annual meeting on October 5th in Washington, D.C. Now, the moment we've been waiting for, Bernard M. Gordon Prize for Innovation in Engineering and Technology Education. Awardees are Dr. Georges Belfort and Dr. Stephen Cramer. Stand up, stand up. Stand up. Face them. Let me see you. I've known Georges since 1972, and I'd never known him to be so modest. What do you do? You stand there and give the applause. These two gentlemen are being recognized for advancing the state-of-the-art in downstream bioprocessing and educating generations of industry and academic leaders who transformed and grew the biotechnology industry. To address challenges in the rapidly growing and evolving biotechnology industry, Georges and Stephen developed a unique program of cutting-edge education and research in downstream bioprocessing in RPI's Department of Chemical and Biological Engineering. Downstream processing is a crucial technology in the biomanufacturing process where complex biological mixtures are purified and refined into biological products that meet regulatory standards required for medical and biotechnology applications. George's and Stephen's educational and research achievements in the downstream bioprocessing space were critical to establishing downstream bioprocessing as a discipline in chemical engineering. I'll say that again, as a discipline in chemical engineering and in implementing new innovations in the biotechnology industry. Together, Georges and Stephen have mentored well over 200 researchers, students, and in their laboratories, developed innovative courses in biotechnology and engaged industry experts, and inspired students to push the boundaries of what is possible. Georges and Stephen are recipients of several notable awards and honors, and the list of their titles is equally long and distinguished, but I just mentioned a few. Georges is an Institute Endowed Professor at RPI, a foreign member of the Academy of Sciences of the Institute of Bologna, past president and co-founder of the North American Membrane Society. Georges has served on advisory boards and committees for esteemed scientific institutions around the world. Stephen is an Institute Endowed Professor at RPI, a member of University of Texas Austin's Academy of Distinguished Chemical Engineers, an elected fellow of several prominent scientific organizations, and the engineering counselor on the American Association for Advancement of Science Council, very big position representing the engineering. Stephen received a BS in biomedical engineering from Brown University and an MS and PhD in chemical engineering from Yale University. I'm proud to point out that Georges and Stephen are both members of the National Academy of Engineering, and we're very proud of them. In recognition of their advancement of the state-of-the-art in downstream bioprocessing and education and mentoring of generations of industry and academic leaders, we honor Dr. Georges Belfort and Dr. Stephen Cramer. And let me put a personal note into all this. As I said, I've known Georges for 50-some years when we were young and had a little more energy. No, you still have the same amount of energy. I've lost a little of it. And I've known Stephen for quite a while, too, many decades. I think we've reviewed each other's papers and proposals, and I think we were kind to each other because we did okay, right? So that's good. And I want to make it clear that I had no vote in this. At the meetings, I just sit and I did not have a vote. But I was so thrilled when it came out this way that you two won. It just made me feel so good knowing you for so long. And congratulations, Georges and Steve. Now, as I call your name, this is a presentation, and as I call your name, I invite each of you to the stage to receive your prize and have your picture taken. After both winners have received their prizes, we will then gather on the stage for a group photograph. So, Professor Belfort, you're first.
I'm going to put you on stage.
When the music stops, we know we're ready.
One second. 1 second. You can give it back to, you can hold it. No, he can stay on stage. Just stand to the side.
Just push them.
Yep,
Okay.
just push you to the side.
And now I call Dr. Stephen Cramer to the stage.
This first?
Yep.
Is the right spot?
That's it? Good.
Yeah.
Don't block the metal.
Don't block the metal. Anything else under there? Yes.
I'm going to take a group photo.
Everybody?
Yep. Everybody. Okay, I'm going to put something like that. And then you all come to the podium.
So,
Speak.
do you need these gentlemen on the
Yep,
stage?
two of you all come to the podium.
So we come here or not?
Yep.
You want them here?
You want to
I always do what she says, so I don't know. What
We're married. We understand. We understand. Yeah.
so you
George
want,
is speaking first, I believe.
okay. So I call these people up to the stage. Huh?
You're first, George.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So we would normally ask the winners to make us talk right now, give a presentation, but instead we're going to let 4 of their former students make presentations,
No, it's that.
and then you will talk.
Okay.
Okay, you get the last word.
That's great.
So the students get the word
You
first.
all want to get into the stage, you can.
Okay. So It would be easier, I think, if people, yeah, there we go, now we go. So the proof in the pudding for this prize is the graduation of students who make an impact in their work after they graduate. And these students have done that. And this is just representative of the 200 and some people that have worked in this lab. So I'm going to first call Dr. Christiana Boy, a Belfort Group alum, they call it. Okay? Dr. Boy.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm deeply honored, grateful, and happy to be here to celebrate George Belfort and Steve Cramer, two great scientists, wonderful people, and exceptional mentors who have shaped downstream processing research and education. I'm especially grateful to George's and fortunate that our path crossed in the spring in 1993 at the Membrane School in Portugal. I was a first-year graduate student, fascinated by the extraordinary scientists who were teaching us. But George's stood out to me. He conveyed an enthusiasm and passion for research like no other, and he made it easy. By November 1993, I was here at RPI as a visiting scholar in George's group, where I spent a bit more than a year. I worked with both George's and Marlene, who hosted me in her lab. I know we are celebrating George's and Steve, but Marlene was also very important to me, a chemical engineer who, by training, sent to a molecular biology lab to learn cell culture and protein purification techniques. They were my mentors, and over time they became friends, a friendship that continues and has connected our families. I learned a lot from George's, but one thing I always remember is that when you listen to a talk, a conference talk of any kind, you recognize a good teacher when you learn something new and exciting. And that is George's. You always learn something new from one of his talks. George's has helped to educate generations of industry and academic leaders through his knowledge, his talent, but most of all, through his motivation and enthusiasm, his love for what he does, which he was able to pass on to us. And that is why I think the 2025 Gordon Prize and the motivation was a perfect recognition of his wonderful career. George's, Steve, congratulations on a well-deserved award.
Very well done, thank you. And now I call David Wood, a Belfort alum, to the podium.
So thank you, and I'm very happy and honored to be here, being one of the former students who was chosen to give a brief words. As always, I procrastinate and I'm lazy, so I didn't prepare anything. But just being with the alumni and hearing the statement, "We were all nice to each other," made me sort of realize how lucky I am to be part of the community that George and Steve have created. And it took me back to an ACS meeting many years ago when I was still a junior faculty at another university. The George and Steve groups decided to all go together to this dueling piano bar. And Steve was there, and it was my birthday. And the danger was that my glass was never empty. But what I realized is we filled a big chunk of this fairly large venue full of students who were growing their careers at an alarming rate. And when I look at Nihal's title, I think, Nihal? My friend from grad school, or my old roommate, and Steve, of course, shut down the piano players pretty coldly. But I realized that I was part of a really important community of people who supported each other and understood each other. And because of this network, because of this love for the game and love for the other players in the game, they were creating what we jokingly now refer to as the RPI Biotech Mafia, of this group of people who just run things. And they all know each other, and they all like each other, and they all help each other. And I think if anything I learned from George and Steve, it was that importance of being part of something bigger than yourself that could create and accomplish amazing things. So this is a very well-deserved, maybe not because of all the membrane work or the chromatography work, but because of the people you created along the way. Thank you.
Thank you, David. And now Sam Guhan, a Cramer Group alum, will say a few words.
I got 2 minutes and I got a lot to say, so let me start. I'm really so privileged to be here. I, along with Mike Phillips, I don't know, he's in the room somewhere, there he is, we were Steve's first 2 students. And our education started right then because we had the opportunity to set up the lab and work with Steve on writing the first grants. That was a real education. We didn't appreciate it then as much, but we do appreciate it now. When we think about the award, and John said it really well, these professors, along with a handful of, less than one handful of other professors like Kuni at MIT and things, they set up downstream processing as a discipline. When I started graduate school, God, now it's 40 years ago, right? When I started graduate school, when we were thinking biotech processing, we were mostly focused on upstream, on titers. And at that time, titers were less than half gram per liter. We were lucky to get half gram per liter. But what these professors did, they looked ahead. They looked decades ahead. And they said, what if our amount of material we have to process was 10 times, 15, 20 times as much? And they put down theoretical and experimental things in place to educate people to handle this in the future. I tackle this every day now in my job, and I'm so grateful for the education you gave me that we can do this on behalf of the biotech community, so thank you for that. In addition to that, I just want to say a couple of personal comments, which is, when I came to RPI, I wasn't that clear on exactly, was I even ready to be in graduate school to be a researcher? What RPI taught me, what the Department of Chemical Engineering and the professors, Dr. Belfort, Dr. Cramer, Dr. Lashmer, Dr. Abbott, there are many, many others, Dr. Bungay, what they taught me is have confidence in yourself. You can solve problems. First, think of the right problem to solve, and you can do this. This confidence RPI gave us. But in addition, 2 other quick things. One, they made education fun. Dr. Belfort's classes on membranes, you made the molecules come alive. When you talked about eddy viscosity, boy, this was, people won't know how fun it was, but it was a lot of fun. So thank you for that. And Steve, you made us connect with industry. You made us go to conferences. You took us to Syracuse to see the penicillin facility there. You brought industry people here. So from the beginning, it wasn't just all book things. It was how can we interact and use this in everyday life for the betterment of mankind to bring life-saving medicines forward. So it is my honor and privilege to be here to see you receive this award. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Sam. Well done. And finally, we have Nihao Tuju, who is a Cramer alum. Nihao.
I over-prepared. So it's my great honor to be here in front of you today to celebrate Georges and Steve on their receiving of this prestigious award, Gordon Prize. I was a graduate student who completed her PhD under Steve's supervision, and I can say he has greatly influenced my academic journey, my personal and my professional journey as well. Steve is not only a distinguished scholar and innovator in downstream processing, but also a mentor who truly cares about education. His dedication, advancing science and creating a collaborative learning environment has really inspired many students, including myself, to aim high and explore new ideas. Throughout my time at RPI, Steve showed unwavering commitment to his students. He encouraged us to think critically, challenge assumptions, and approach problems creatively. His mentorship went beyond the classroom and lab, providing support and encouragement that shaped our professional and personal lives. Personal story. During my second year of research, I was having a little bit of a hard time trying to figure out the problem, and the problem itself became a problem. So Steve realized my struggle. I think many of the PhD students over here can resonate with this. And then we sat down together, and he walked me through first a technical discussion, but then talking about ups and downs of how research is and how you need to be resilient to go through it. So I kept that in mind, right? The resiliency, the perseverance really became a trait that I carry today to my day job. And it was invaluable. So these pep talks still continue to date. And just to add to the mafia bit, in both academia and industry, we are also known as the Cramer gang. It's a good kind of gang that really stands for Steve's values, meaning leading with science and supporting each other. And another unique trait that we have, I'm really trying to slow myself down here today, but normally we speak very fast, most of us. And it is like 70 slides in 30 minutes fast, just to be exact. And I'm so proud, among all of you, that part of this Cramer gang. Steve, your tireless work on separation technologies and dedication to student success continues to have lasting impact on the field of downstream processing and all of us who have learned from you. Your achievements show your passion, your hard work, and commitment to advancing science. On behalf of all your students and colleagues, I extend our heartfelt congratulations on this well-deserved honor. Thank you for being an exceptional mentor, educator, and role model, sometimes even dad. Your legacy, you will continue to inspire us. So I just want to say congratulations to Professors Belfort and Cramer on their fantastic achievements. Thank you.
Well done. Now, you can see, I think, from the students' former students' comments, what Georges and Steve meant to them. It's not just learning facts and skills and engineering, as Bernie Gordon said, but it's about learning attitude and getting confidence and working in teams and doing things together and helping others and social awareness of what engineering can do for society. And that's just as important as the technical part. And congratulations to both of you, great mentors and fantastic work. I now invite Georges and Steve to come to the podium and offer their remarks on this. And why don't you come together? And you've sorted the order out already, I think, right? Yep. There we go.
Wow, what a day. So I want to tell you the truth at the beginning. Truth be told, I had no idea that Stephen, where are you? That you and our ex-students were so productive. No idea. And we're working on 8 of the 10 leading drugs last year. And we're involved in 1/3 of the total value of the biotech industry of $460 billion. I had no idea. So suddenly, we get this award, and so I had to realize all this time, all these people going out are doing something. It is wonderful to receive a major engineering pride for success of my ex-students and ex-postdocs. So I will paraphrase and revise a quote that just appeared in C&E News by my good friend Frances Arnold, Nobel laureate and winner of this year's Chemistry Priestlier Prize. So I've changed her sentence a little. This prize goes to 2 people, which doesn't make any sense at all, I say. We tend to put us on a pedestal for the work of so many. So I just want to point out that the future belongs to them. The science and engineering belongs to them. And it's been a huge privilege to be able to take a ride with them and with Steve Cramer. Not finished yet. Now let me thank a few people. First of all, let me thank Marlene Belfort, Distinguished Professor at the University at Albany. The love of my life, who has been my friend and has had the most positive effect on my life and my work of anyone. And I'd also like to thank my three amazing sons, David, Gubby, and Jonna, who are smarter and more talented than anyone could have imagined, and who, with Marlene, have brought me more simcha, which means joy. Three wonderful daughter-in-laws, one of them is here, Mandy, thank you, and 7 amazing grandchildren. Some are listening, so let's hope they're listening. Marlene and I get along incredibly well. We really agree nearly on everything except one thing. We cannot agree to this stage on how to pack a dishwasher. She uses entropy and I use enthalpy. Okay, thanks to my ex and current students, because this prize would not be here without them. And there are some here who are stars. I see all of them, some academics, some from top universities in Europe, some from top universities in the US, and some from industry, of course, which is very important. I've been at RPI for 46 years, and RPI has been a pleasure and an honor. When RPI President George Lowe phoned me in 1981 from Washington, personally, to tell me that I'd received tenure, that is when I realized this was a special place. RPI is a wonderful place to teach and undergrads and graduate students and to pursue one's research dreams. This place is infectious, respectful, caring, and a great place to ruminate. I looked that up and it said you think deeply. Well, I'm not so sure I think deeply, but I have to tell you the students who have left here have done wonderfully, and I'm really very, very proud of them. I'd like to thank Dean Shekhar Gardi, my friend and colleague, for arranging this event with Audrey. Where's she? Audrey. Thank you, Audrey. With Audrey, with the NAE, and with my old Gordon Conference roommate after 40 years, NAE President John Anderson, for coming up here with his impressive team. John, thank you. Thank you. You remember we shared the room together? I don't know if you remember.
We had a lot of beer before that.
Yeah, it was a lot of beer. He doesn't remember, but I do. The result of beer. Okay. Thanks. I want to thank the Bernard M. Gordon Institute, and especially Bernard M. Gordon, for his generosity, for his insight in selecting education for the prize. The 2025 Gordon Prize Selection Committee, I'd like to thank them. I did hear from one of them, and also our nominator, who could not attend today as he's in Greece with his family, Professor Greg Stephanopoulos from MIT, who nominated us for this prize. You may not know him, but he's a very superstar guy, both in his work and as a personality. He's a most wonderful person. Thanks to everybody, including my family, my sisters here, Ethel, my cousins, Jack and Stacy, ex-students and friends who come from near and far, from France and from Italy and from other places, to celebrate today with us. I'm humbled and I'm honored. Thank you for being here when it counts. Thank you very much.
Well, I only have 83 slides, so this should go fast. Okay, so let me do the thank yous first. First of all, I want to thank and acknowledge my wonderful wife, Bonnie, for her unwavering support and love and how she has created an amazing work-life balance despite working like a maniac. Yep. I want to thank George. I want to thank George for convincing me to become an academic. I was going to start companies in biotechnology, and here I am. So thank you for that, George. And also, of course, for being amazing mentorship and for inspiration and friendship. This would not be possible at all without my current and former students. This is an award and acknowledgement of their incredible accomplishments and their incredible success. You saw 2 of them here, but there's many of them, and I'm unbelievably proud of all of my students, right? So I just want to thank them for that. I want to thank RPI for being my only academic home as a professor. I came here right out of my PhD, and I never left. Now, you could say that RPI is amazing. Part of it was Bonnie. Bonnie doesn't like to move. But it was also, that RPI has given me an amazing place to do the work that we've done. And, of course, this building is a godsend, right? And just a few more. I want to thank all my wonderful internal collaborators at RPI. I see many of them here. I see Shekhar, I see Todd, and there's many of them. I also want to thank my wonderful external academic and industrial collaborators. These collaborations have really catalyzed the research, have really pushed the envelope, and have really helped my group to work on problems that are actually important. And finally, I want to thank Deborah from the NAE for doing the work to help set this up, and of course, Audrey and Dean Garde. Audrey, you've been wonderful, and thank you for all your hard work for this. But I'm not done yet. That's what George told me when he shook my hand, by the way. Little joke. So I wanted to say it's been a tremendous journey to be here at RPI for the past 39 years. Not 46, but 39. We're getting up there. And the driver for our research has been to address major industrial bioprocessing challenges while carrying out fundamental engineering and science research and educating and mentoring and nurturing students. And nurturing is an important thing to me. I also learned that from Bonnie. RPA has been a wonderful place to do this, where the focus on biotech and computation and the amazing people to collaborate with has really catalyzed and enabled our group to address these significant challenges. I'm extremely grateful to RPI, our many collaborators, et cetera, I said that already, and for enabling us to play in the sandbox and for working to address these important challenges and to help educate these amazing students. Finally, it's important to note that these incredible students have come to RPI and to our labs from all over the world, right? And they have made these amazing contributions to the U.S. academic and biopharma industry throughout the generations. The U.S. must continue to lead in academic research. It must continue to attract the best and the brightest students from the entire world to contribute to the future of the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Georges and Steve. And now I'm pleased to welcome to the podium again President Schmidt, who will close the ceremony.
Wow. I feel privileged to have been part of this. This is really special. Really special. And as I was sitting here thinking, George, when you mentioned that you got tenure in 1981, that's when I left. That's not correlated. But I will say that my roommate for 4 years at RPI was a chemie. The gentleman who married Lynn's identical twin sister was a chemie. So I was surrounded by chemies my entire 4 years at RPI, and I remember 2 names that was often mentioned over beers or whatever by my chemie friends. One of them was Muck and Fuss, and I just remember that because I thought that was a really cool name. But the other was Belfort. So you had an impact on my classmates when I was a student here. Unfortunately, I didn't overlap with you, Steve, but I feel the blessing of being here now. So first of all, I want to thank you, John. And again, thank you all for joining us at today's celebration. It's been, to me, it's been inspiring to witness firsthand the way that George and Steve's research, teaching, and mentorship have impacted their fields. The numbers you quoted are breathtaking in terms of impact in the industry. And I think it really does, John, I think reflect what Alex, what Bernie had intended with this award. It's amazing, the alignment. The Gordon Prize is unique, as we've learned, or tried to hear, not just for its prestige or the generosity of the award itself, but for something that all of us who have worked in the STEM disciplines know to be true, but that it's good to be reminded of every now and then. Research doesn't happen in a vacuum, and the collaborations and collegiality that you spoke to so eloquently is manifest in that. You know, in popular culture, it's often a stereotype of the mad scientist alone in a laboratory just waiting for lightning or inspiration to strike. But obviously, we all get inspired once in a while. But the work of science and engineering is a continuous process that happens across disciplines, geographical locations, and generations. In the same way that former members of George and Steve's labs have spoken to the mentorship they received, and how that guides their own careers, our students will tell you that the best way to thrive in our rigorous curriculum is to join a study group and become a regular office hours attendee. Our faculty members will tell you that what sets RPI apart from other schools is our willingness to step over low walls, reach across research boundaries. So this is a great and well-deserved recognition for George and Steve, and RPI is truly honored to host the National Academy of Engineering and is proud of this distinction. But when George and Steve started their work 4 decades ago, their goals were to address important challenges facing humanity and to teach new generations of researchers to carry that work on and find new problems to solve. And in this case, discover a brand new field of downstream processing. This is a celebration of the ongoing efforts to make the world a better, safer, healthier place through the application of science to the common purposes of life. I hope you all join us in the gallery for the reception, and now I'll invite Shekhar Garde to the stage.
There is a reception outside, and I invite you all to join. The program is concluded.